So that being said, I think every young man should figure out what his main needs are and go for that. Because once you get your needs met, then you can worry about the wants.
Yep. And
That's
and you have to also not just get your needs met, you have to have them in a sustainable, pragmatic format.
yeah,
You know, you
yeah,
don't need
yeah,
to,
yeah.
if you don't have your needs met in a sustainable, pragmatic format, you're in survival mode. You're
You're
in
in
struggle.
survival mode,
You
right?
you
What is it? There's a certain amount of percentage of Americans, that a high percentage of Americans living check to check, right?
yep.
They need to bring that up so they're not living check to check and have enough for a rainy day. So they got to put their wants aside,
Hmm.
right? They got to put their wants aside so they can have their needs met. Um, and that takes a certain hunger, a certain drive towards ambition and all that sort of stuff. And you know, you got to be. I find it now that I'm at this age in my life. I find that you have to be more realistic with yourself, man. Oh, shit, I sound like my father. You
Yeah,
gotta be,
like
you gotta be more realistic in your life at my age. As you get older, you know, when you're young, you think of the present. When you're young, you think of the future. When you're old, you think of the present. You know, and that for me is every day I think about, okay, what am I needing to do today to get ahead for tomorrow, right? That's my mindset. I'm not dreaming of my future. I'm dreaming of where I need to be. There's a
right.
difference.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You know, and people have to be realistic to that. And
Oh man.
and like I said, along comes adjusting your, you know, after a while you don't dream the same like before, right? Because now you're like, okay, I'm at this age, it hasn't happened yet. What are my needs to keep on going?
Yes.
What are my needs to keep on going, right? And then you know, that's why when people tell me at a certain age they have to find themselves or and all this, I'm like, what did you do that you're at that age that you didn't find yourself? Were you in prison? Were you locked up? Like that should have been your journey from day one. Did you have trauma? Did you get your trauma handled? Maybe you need to get your trauma handled, go to therapy. But you should, at a certain age, you can't use that excuse no more. Nobody's coming to save you.
Man, absolutely, man. Like it's
You can't use that anymore, man, Vic. You can't use that excuse anymore.
nope.
And
Guess who?
and the more that as I get older, I realize that, and I'm like, okay, I get it now. Now
Yeah.
I'm in desperate mode. Now I'm at this age. I'm in desperate mode in a sense of what I got to do.
Yeah.
You know, but I can't let desperate road make me make bad decisions, because that's what happens. That's where bad decisions come from,
Hmm.
right? But you don't have desperate mode when you're young. You got all this time ahead of you.
Yep.
If
Man.
you got all this time ahead of you, man.
Yeah.
You
Like
know.
that. These are the simple things that become more important as we get older. And the thing is that we we don't we don't rehash how simple life actually is. You know what I'm saying? From what it takes to do the right thing, stay focused, complete your task and your missions, whatever terminology you want to use to describe.
Man, Vic, why the hell is your damn microphone so far away from you again?
Hey man, look, I right now this is what I like. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got it turned up. You know, is it not?
That shit ain't gonna work.
Is it micing right better? Is it micing right now?
That's a little bit better. That's a
It's a
little
little,
bit better.
it's a little bit better. I don't
That's
want to
cool.
overturn my game because like I got some speakers that's in here close by. I ain't in no huge studio, man. It's my little office where I be over here paying
Okay, I
bills.
got you. I got you.
Yeah, what's up, man?
You said you want the mic further away from me. I gotta get my damn head right. Good
Yeah,
God,
I
my
see
head
you.
is all messed up.
I saw you back there fidgeting. You know what I'm
Yeah, I was
saying?
back here fixing it, man. But
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I ain't
Like
want to show nobody my bald head.
man, look who you hiding? Hey,
Yeah, man.
so to catch you up in the conversation, man, we talking about needs and wants because I kind of start picking on this conversation uh in my timeline because I think a lot of people got it backwards. And that's part of where a lot of the conflict comes from in where people communicate. You know, some
Okay.
people speak from need, some people speak from want, and I think a lot of people are using language that is similar but it's not necessarily the same thing. So therefore, a lot of points get missed intentionally, because they're not speaking from a place of need, or they might not be speaking from a place of want. If you're speaking from a place of need, you might not understand wants the same way. As fickle as that is, it comes down to like one of the things that I identified. I made a post on the 29th. I said, read carefully. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it up real quick. And let me just go down each one of them. And we'll read it together. How about that? I said, read carefully. Ladies, be fearful of men that need you. Be appreciative of the man that wants you. There's a difference. Men that need you are sexually undisciplined men that chase cat. And most of them are raised by single mothers. All you have to do is examine the men that you had the most conflict with in your dating experience. Men that need you will get you pregnant on purpose to trap you. And you see that conversation expands a little bit more. You can need help, but if you will only accept help on your terms, you may be mentally ill. If he needs you, they can't lead you. Men that need you are lusting for you like an R&B song. It's dysfunctional. The need to be right is dangerous. If they need you, they will bleed you. Men that need you will not treat you any differently than any woman. You are not special to a man that needs you. You're just available. This is the mindset of a sexually undisciplined man. People with inferiority and superiority complexes need attention for short-term fulfillment. People with purpose want to serve their purpose. People of service don't need to be told to be purposeful. Drug addicts need. Want comes from a position of power. You can have it whenever you want it. When you need, you can't make the rules with the least amount of resources. Do you see where danger can be manifested between want versus need? Pay attention to who raised the people that need you. People that need are silently competing with everyone. Children need. Narcissists need. Need comes from a deficit of power. Want comes from a position of power. There's a huge difference between the two. So, welcome to the show, Cavi. Glad you can make it. And, I just want you to jump in wherever you feel like you need to say anything, if I missed anything.
Oh, no, I don't feel like you missed anything, bro. You know what I'm saying? I think starting off well, man, so everything sounds good to me. You know what I'm saying? This is the discussion of the day. Is that correct?
That is correct. I didn't go to therapy last week, so I wanted to bring these topics to my therapist last week, and I get a chance to talk to him just to hear his thoughts or whatever, because this is what I was already, kind of dwelling on. And I wasn't sure how I wanted to frame it. Huh? Why?
Yeah,
why did I work? Well, because
like why wants and need versus needs?
Because I believe that there's a difference between the people that's having their discussions about it. Like I could tell when people
what's going on, bro?
I can just tell when people are like disagreeable for the sake of just being disagreeable, right? And when they're being disingenuous and it's coming from a personal experience and they are projecting. A lot of projections come from lack, because they're not able to get what they want. They're not getting what they want. Like your incels. You see a lot of those people that automatically just default to something negative and disrespectful towards women because they're not being satisfied between their wants and needs. So when they're not getting what they want, they'd rather be disrespectful, like you talk about all the time, right? The communication between men and women, and men being very disrespectful, that kind of feeds into it also, because people that get what they want do not belabor other people with what they don't want. You don't waste time talking to people that don't reflect what you can have, right? Because if you can get what you want, why do you care? Why do you care about arguing with people that can't get what they want?
Right. I got you.
Well, first of all, you shouldn't have those people in your circle, anyways.
Well, obviously, yeah. But and all my observations that I wrote about is just me really analyzing the things that I see on social media. You know, not in my regular life, but most people have issues with everywhere that they go because somebody either needs something from them or wants them to do something. And they're trying to break down where do they fit at in their equation. You know what I'm saying? Somebody has a job where um, somebody else didn't do their job, so they're putting off their work on someone else because they need something done that they didn't do or don't want to do it, and they have the ability to do it.
I'll tell you where I've seen this need thing that you're talking about. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
Great,
Yes, sir.
great,
Oh
great.
yeah.
So I've really seen a lot of the posts that a lot of females have made. It said, summer's almost over with and it's almost winter. There's gonna be some dudes that need a place to stay. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna have those men that don't have, a shelter over their head, pretty much. And like you said, Vic, they're gonna need someone, or they're gonna need a woman to shack up with, for the winter, and for the summer, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just a little stupid meme that they put out there. But I see exactly what you're talking about. As far as us being, good evening, Alonda. I think that's her name, Alonda. I hope I'm saying that right. Because we're getting bashed because we're not saying Kamala right. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, like I said, so you do have those men that need a woman, like I said, for her home, for money, for a whole lot of other different things, sex, whatever, and then you do have those men that don't necessarily need a woman, but we want a woman. And those men are the men who are married or want to be married, like Brother Antoine here. So he wants to be married. So the thing is, he wants a woman, not necessarily needs a woman, but he wants a woman. A woman would complete Antoine. Am I saying that right? Or am I right about that, Antoine? Antoine, can you hear me? I can't hear neither one of y'all.
He got a mic issue.
Damn, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, no, I always it goes to mute because I don't want to. I don't want you guys to hear my chair, so I just mute everything, and then I start talking and I forget. Say the question again. I'm sorry, bro. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I was saying that people like men who are married, we want our wives. It's not necessarily
Right,
need. There's a little there is some need after being married, because two people become one. So of course at that time you need someone.
right,
Like I said to you, you're in the actions of trying to find a wife. You're pursuing that. You want a wife. You
right,
want a mother for your
right.
child.
I'm
So
married. I'm marriage minded. Exactly.
right. You're married minded. So you want that. That's not necessarily something that you need, but it's something that you want. Am I correct in saying that?
Okay, so I'm gonna say it differently because I said to Vic, I said, Vic, I think every man needs to be married, right? I think every man needs to be married. I don't think men should be alone. I think we should procreate. I think every man should want a legacy. I don't think we should be selfish about that. Just like I believe every woman should have a baby because I believe a baby makes every woman happy. No matter even if she says that she wouldn't be happy, I believe deep down inside when she looks at another woman with a child, that mother
Mhm.
instinct will never ever go away. It's always going to be there. You can deny it and all this sort of stuff, turn away from it and judge it, but at the end of the day, if you gave birth to a child, you would want it. So that being said, yes, I need to be married. So my mindset now is that I'm a marriage minded guy that I want to be married.
All right, folks. Appreciate you sticking with me to the end. This has been another episode of Beyond the Algorithm. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Go get the book. And most importantly, I will see you beyond the algorithm because that's where life actually happens.